He flipped off the mirror one last time, just to really top it off, and then he bent down so the babysitter couldn't see him shove one of the meatballs into his mouth and take the other two into his hand. He kicked the empty tray back over to the door and flopped down onto the bed, making sure his babysitter can't see him finish off the meatballs. Jungkook felt like Taehyung would get the message. He's not backing down. But when Jungkook fell asleep that night, after thinking about several impossible ways to escape, Taehyung had sent in two of his men to quietly clean the window, leave a fresh pair of clothes for Jungkook, and a bowl of cereal with a small carton of milk on a silver tray. As expected, Jungkook was furious when he saw the gifts that Taehyung had left. This was turning into cycle. Taehyung would leave food and a gift for Jungkook. Jungkook would dump the food, secretly eating a bite, somewhere inconvenient for Taehyung, and trash whatever gift it was, and Taehyung would have his men try something different the next day. It went like this for 3 more days. 8 trays of food, several outfits destroyed, and 4 bottles of cleaning spray later. Jungkook stares hard at the wall. All of this anger was tiring. He was doing nothing all day, for 4 days, 96 hours, and yet he felt drained. He had gone over every escape plan he could think of. All end in the same way. He can't leave. There's no way Jungkook could make it out of here in one piece. If he didn't get stopped by Taehyung, his men would surely get Jungkook. The only option was to stay here, going insane in this cell, dying in this cell. Jungkook knew that if he kept this attitude up, one day the food will stop showing up. There will be no one to come clean up his mess, no one to set out new clothes for him to change into. There will be no one sitting behind that glass, to wait and see if he needs anything, or if he changes his mind. They will get sick of his attitude. They'll leave him and he'll be just another prisoner. He'll die in this cell. But his pride is too big to ask Taehyung to stay. He doesn't want Taehyung to win. Not in this game. Taehyung is playing God with people. In this game, it truly is life or death. Jungkook can't outsmart Taehyung in a game he's been playing for years. Then all at once, Jungkook loses his breath. An idea popped into his head that feels so cinematic and stupid, he almost laughs. But as he thinks about it more, it becomes a favorable option. Jungkook knows that Taehyung cares for him. That much is apparent in the way he's treated Jungkook. So, if he can take advantage of those feelings, have Taehyung wrapped around his finger, that means that he'd have access to Taehyung's entire mafia. He could get all of the information about Taehyung's activities, monetary, illegal, social, all of it. Jungkook just has to let Taehyung in. If Taehyung falls hard enough, Jungkook could get enough information to put Taehyung in jail for life. His empire would be dismantled with its king unable to run it. So he tricks the mafia boss into loving him. Jungkook gets Taehyung's secrets, and he gives it to his friends in publishing. Taehyung's drug and arms empire would fall. No. The idea is stupid, and Jungkook would have to be crazy, but it's so stupid and crazy that it just might work. He could take this anger and turn it into something good. He was going to have to play Taehyung's game. Smile and hug and talk. Let him think that he's won. Back him into a corner. Jungkook turns over, facing the mirror before slowly sitting up. Then, when the moment is right, check. He stares into the one-way glass. Only his own reflection can be relayed. Capture the king through his own faults. I want to see him, Jungkook says to the mirror. He says it, not knowing whether or not someone was behind the glass. If there was, Jungkook would speak to Taehyung, setting his plan into motion. If not, Jungkook would accept his fate. He would lay back down on the mattress and not say another word. He would find a routine for his days in the cell, perhaps some stretches when he wakes and an exercise routine for after he eats. When he's bored, he can pick the stuffing out of the mattress, maybe even braid the thin cotton together to pass the time. Or maybe he'd go insane. But, sure enough, within minutes, there's a soft knock at the door. "Come in," Jungkook calls and the door opens a crack, Taehyung slipping into the room. Jungkook stares at the floor, shoulders hunched forward as he grips the metal bed frame. "You requested me," Taehyung asked in a gentle and concerned voice. Taehyung has never been on the opposite side of this situation. It has always been others feeling apprehensive toward him, other people shitting a brick when they hear that Taehyung has called upon them. "It's horrible. I'd like to speak with you about my living arrangements," Jungkook speaks quietly, yet firmly, staring at the ground. Despite his plan to screw Taehyung over, it still feels like he's forfeiting the game by saying this. Of course, Taehyung agrees almost too quickly, taking a step toward Jungkook and kneeling down next to the bed. "I always wanted you to star, not here," Jungkook says, looking up at the one-way glass. "Don't you have like an office or something?" Taehyung gives a nod, a soft smile on his face. "Yeah. Let's do that," he agrees and stands, offering a hand to Jungkook, like he'd done in the elevator a few days ago. "Stick to the plan," Jungkook reminds himself, despite his own pride screaming for him to slap Taehyung's hand away and run out the door. So Jungkook slips his hand into Taehyung's and Taehyung lets the pair out of the cell. When the breath of fresh air hit Jungkook, he feels as though he could cry. He was out of that damned, stuffy cell. His pride would have kept him in that room forever. His pride could literally have been the death of him. Jungkook gives Jungkook's hand a tight squeeze when he notices the boy's reaction to being freed. Jungkook offers a small smile, trying to seem thankful that Taehyung had shown him kindness in letting him out. "Ah yes, thank you for letting me out of your jail cell for hostages that you ordered to be tortured there. So sweet." As Jungkook forces a wisp of a smile to stay on his face, Taehyung's heart melts. He knew Jungkook would see that being with him is the best option. The red rooms are a very extreme route to take for this conclusion, but it seems as though that was what Jungkook needed. Taehyung smiles to himself. It's not much, but it's still progress. Taehyung takes Jungkook across the empty commons area. He had ordered his men to leave it empty for when Jungkook came out, especially after he'd heard some of the things they were saying about Jungkook, specifically about his ass. They walk down the hallway to the two large double doors. Jungkook's hands start sweating when he sees the two bodyguards standing on either side of the door. He recognizes one of them as Demon and the other is Taehyung's minion from that first day. His hands feel too clammy. He doesn't want Taehyung to notice, so Jungkook takes his hand back, crossing his arms over his chest as they approach the two mammoths. Taehyung had noticed Jungkook's reaction, but he assumed Jungkook was probably having flashbacks to the first time he walked down this hallway. He was scared shitless. Taehyung can still hear Jungkook quietly begging him not to kill him. The thought makes Taehyung's heart ache. As Demon slides the heavy doors open for Taehyung and Jungkook, Becau leans over to Taehyung, quietly whispering something to him. Jungkook watches Demon pull the door all the way open and when he's finished, Demon looks back to Jungkook. Demon knows everything. He has to, as Taehyung's personal bodyguard, the stories he's heard, the information he has. Demon could be Jungkook's most valuable ally. They both stand there a moment, just staring at each other. I'm sorry, Jungkook says flatly. Demon just blinks, emotionless. The first day we met, I was really upset and I took it out on you. Internally, Demon squints his eyes at the strange boy. What is he talking about? Without an answer, Jungkook continues. It's not your fault that I'm here, but because you work with him. Jungkook gestures to Taehyung, who has moved into the room to speak a little more privately with Taekook. You're complicit. So I'm sorry I slammed the door in your face, but not real out deserve it, Jungkook says quickly, looking back up to the scary bodyguard. Okay, Demon looks at Jungkook for a moment, just long enough for Jungkook to think he's never going to get a real reaction out of Demon. But then Demon shrugs and nods. The gesture makes Jungkook perk up and smile at Demon. Huh? He'd made the stone of a man move. If he can keep this up, Demon could be considered the closest person to Taehyung, with the most information. If he can get Demon to start asking a few questions about his loyalties to Taehyung, Jungkook would have a key witness. Jungkook, Taehyung beckons Jungkook, nodding his head toward the open elevator. See you around, minion of darkness. Jungkook smirks up at Demon and jogs over to Taehyung, following him into the elevator. Taehyung presses the third floor button and the golden doors slide shut. They're quiet for a moment before Taehyung speaks up. Demon seems to like you, he notes with an amused smile. Jungkook shrugs with a faint smirk still on his face. What's not to like? Taehyung chuckles softly, his dimple creating a divot in his cheek when he smiles.